So, hi Sue, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Yeah, great to have you again on the show. Yeah, it has been a while that we have talked last time. Since then, yeah, HUD is rising like meteoric style. I really love that because I was big invested. I'm still a big investor in HUD 8. I really like this company. So it's time for another update, I think. Um, Yeah. So, what is going on with HUD 8 right now? Yeah, can you tell us a little bit?
Yeah, so how I've been framing this to a lot of people who I've been speaking to, especially since our earnings call, is Q1, Q2, Q3 was about rebuilding, restructuring, and effectively just rebuilding the business with an efficiency and innovation lens in mind. And so Q4 and then the rest of Q1, Q2, Q3, 2022, we look as sort of like the beginning of an efficiency super cycle for HUT 8. We've racked and stacked highly efficient GPU miners, obviously with the payout being in Ethereum, in Bitcoin. That's going to yield another 2 Bitcoin a day at less than $3,000 Canadian. We've got this third site being stood up right now with one of the lowest all-inclusive prices in the Western Hemisphere. And we have about 2 exahash worth of equipment that is currently en route. Plus, within that, included in that 2 exahash, we have about 4.5 exahash of total contracted, currently installed, and then also equipment that's actually sitting in inventory right now. Some of our older models, we've got about 500 petahash that we could easily just plug in if need be. So point is, we've done all the things that we feel we need to do in order to set ourselves up for even more success for Q4 and then the rest of 2022.
Yeah, sounds good. I mean, investors love hash rate. We already know this. So I think you have now installed like 1.37 exahash in your Alberta sites there. And I think you said in the news press release that you have 91% of all the GPUs online now.
Yeah.
So yeah, when will be at 100%?
You know what? I actually believe we are at 100% now. Last time I spoke with my head of tech, which was 2 days ago, we were actually at about 98% installed. And you shouldn't think of it as 1.37 exahash because in our press release, we said 1.7 exahash because this does include the GPU miners that are installed now and then currently paying us out in Bitcoin. So we say that we are at 1.7. And yeah, we're really excited about that.
Great. Yeah, love to hear this, that the GPUs are online because they're so profitable. I made the calculation. Yeah, I think you're mining right now with like 460,000 US dollars in revenue for Bitcoin mining, and you're adding more than 100,000 with the GPUs now, but on a very high gross mining margin, above 90%, maybe close to 95%, depends on the electricity prices and so on. So I really think that that helps HUD to become better in the efficiency and the gross mining margin side. So that's very important for me. Yeah, I mean, you announced that you're going to a new site there, and it's not in Alberta, it's in Ontario. So can you tell us a little bit about this now?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is one of the benefits of having a partner like Validus Power because they have multiple data and power sites all throughout Canada. And what happened is back in late August, early September, Alberta, the third site that we were going to stand up, Alberta went back into lockdown. And so, people weren't allowed to go to the site and install and so basically what we were hearing from our engineers is, because of this lockdown delay that they went back into, it was going to delay our ability to stand up that site even further than Q4. And we obviously didn't like that. So, we worked with Validus and Validus said, hey, why don't you come to North Bay? We actually had more equipment already available in North Bay at the North Bay site than we did at the third site in Alberta. So we were very easily able to pivot to almost the exact same climate in terms of freezing cold weather, windy, keep the exact same power purchase agreement, and actually have a site that was more built out than the one we were focused on in Alberta. So this is one of the, another thing that HUT really focuses on, especially given how volatile the markets are, and how much hash rate is going up, people, equipment prices are going up, margins will get compressed. We really care about being able to be agile and pivot and be proactive in terms of how we manage these markets. Or again, if another lockdown happens, the fact that we were able to pivot was very, very helpful for us, and that's what we look for in our partnerships.
Great. Can you share with us a little bit more details about the new site there? You shared some pictures or videos about the power plant there. I think it's a gas fired combined with a steam cycle. That was just my guessing there. Is this correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I believe it's a closed loop energy system. So for example, some of the excess heat from the miners will be used to melt some of the snow around the building. So there is, again, we do even just like the design of it. And yes, there is a steam component as well as to the energy that will be used from this equipment. And again, it's the exact same power purchase agreement that we agreed to of 2.7 cents per kilowatt hour Canadian, and that's an all-inclusive price. So, and not only that, but Validus actually owns this site versus the third site that we were going to stand up in Alberta was in partnership with Validus, but also another partner that we hadn't announced yet. But again, we just love the ability to be agile and pivot if need be with this partnership. So
okay, so the data center is gonna be containers again, I guess, outside of the next to the power plant.
We will be having it's actually going to be stood up initially with like a cloth like structure. There's some new technology that's come down the pipeline it's almost like not a tent like structure, but it's cloth. It's a lot easier.
This sprung technology, I guess.
I believe, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I think it's 100 megawatt there. I've read something about a bigger expansion potential there, or is it in Alberta then the potential?
No, so Jamie even said on the ER call, this site, yes, we have 100 megawatts that we've fully contracted, but the capacity that Validus has at this site and even beyond this site at some other sites in Ontario is extraordinary. She said that on the ER call that there's a ton of potential and greater energy pipeline with this partnership. And again, we're really focused on being opportunistic. So we're going to see how this 100 megawatts goes and then take it from there. But again, we liked the ability that this is a partner that we can absolutely grow and pivot with. So that was a big advantage for us. Okay,
great. So power is there, of course. The partnership with Validus, it shows, I think it brings a lot of value to the company. It's very important to have power and miners. So what about the miners? Are they on track to arrive in Q4?
As it stands right now, we have been getting delays. Oh, sorry. We have been getting deliveries from MicroBT as intended. Like we haven't seen any delays from MicroBT yet. We literally were accepting shipments last week. So, I mean, again, obviously supply chain constraints are hitting everyone and you can't really control the global supply chain crunch, but so far we have been seeing excellent results and things are coming on time so far. And I do think, so the fact that we are like an authorized MicroBT repair shop now, we've strengthened our relationship with them. They have incredible service. We're in contact with them all the time. So that may have something to do with the fact that we've just had such extraordinary service so far and deliveries from them. I'm not really sure. We're also flying in our machines as well. So yeah, we've been really lucky, fingers crossed, and haven't seen any delays yet.
Okay. Yeah, we love to hear this. Delays are common now in this space and in the whole industry. Yeah, you were talking about 500 petahash of old mining equipment, which is not running right now. When do you intend to bring this online again or to sell it?
No, so look, right now, because we've got these 3 sites, well, the third site is currently in the process of being stood up, but we are still on track. We're thinking for the 35 megawatt that we told the market to come on in Q4. So right now we're playing a little bit of Tetris with all of our machines. because we've got, again, legacy equipment, we have fully installed functioning equipment, and then now all this new equipment coming in and the GPUs are fully installed. So we're still sort of playing around a little bit of Tetris, but look, in the event that, there are delays, and, we can't get the 2 exahash fully installed, we have stuff in inventory that we can easily stand up if need be. As it stands right now, we're not really sure where we're going to put it, just because we have so much new equipment coming in, but we look at it as like a contingency plan for us, that we have this sort of extra rate that we can put back on if need be, if there's a delay. So for now, we're sort of taking a wait and see approach.
Okay, got it. So I think the goal is still 6 exahash mid 2022. Contracted right now is something like 3.7 or so until the end of 2022. Is this correct?
So total contracted, installed, and then what we have in inventory is 4.5 exahash. And look, you guys should know how Hut 8 rolls by now. Is we like to be cashed up and then be extremely opportunistic. So we did an incredibly fantastic raise in September. Obviously, dilution is never ideal, but we had no warrants. The price point was good, and the shareholders that came in were extraordinary. Like, I was shocked, and I've said this on podcasts before, about who wanted to have meetings with us. So look, we are cashed up to be opportunistic and to go shopping. And look, we certainly announced to the market that we want to be at 6 exahash by the middle of next year. But again, we're not, and you know this about Hut by now, we're not going to blow our brains out paying peak prices for equipment when margins are compressing. We're going to be diverse. We're going to protect shareholder value and make sure that we do everything that's in the spirit of keeping this as a solid business and not losing our shirt if things go sideways again. So sorry, I went on a bit of a tangent there, but I think the focus is that Hut 8 is cashed up and we're ready to be agile, pivot, and opportunistic. So
I think you guys proved it with the latest, or the 2 latest purchases there. I mean, when the price is below $50 per terahash, I'm very happy. I think this is extraordinary right now. I think all below 50 is perfect for me. 50 to $70 per terahash is okay, and everything is above is too expensive. So that's how I see it. So I think the first one was $44 per terahash or so. So yeah, I'm happy with this, and I'm trusting you that you will reach these targets. I mean, I've seen this now that Hut 8 is really delivering, and yeah, I'm excited for the future there.
But, and also, I think what's important is that we don't want to sell false dreams or unrealistic expectations. Do you know what I mean? Like, we plan on being like the Newmont Gold, the Kinross Gold, a global leader in terms of even setting the standard for how you communicate and connect with your shareholders about what actually is happening with the business. Do you know what I mean? Like, we don't want to sell you.
The shareholders now value this. I mean, it took some time, of course, because you all started less than a year ago with Hut. So of course it takes a little bit of time, but I think the valuation and so on from Hut, it shows that the strategy pays off, to have this strong balance sheet, to protect the balance sheet, all the things you said earlier this year. Of course, investors were freaking out when the stock is going down like always. But I think they now understand the long-term thinking, and I'm happy with this. The valuation shows that you're proven right. I also like. I wanted to say I like the new website there from Hut. The new.
Oh, good. Oh,
yeah, the colors and all these things. This is a little bit different than the others. Yeah. It's not that boring. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And you know what I love about your community and the community that you've built is, I was even on Twitter this morning, and obviously some of our competitors have had extraordinary results, and like, good for them, they've earned it. But I love that. I think you've taught your community, and there's so much shared brain power there to ask questions like, okay, so that's a great headline about what you plan to do, but how are you going to pay for it? Right? Like, and I think a lot more people are starting to understand that, okay, it's nice to have a nice exahash headline, but tell me how you're going to pay for it, because that's hundreds of millions of dollars now. So how are you going to get there? And it's like those questions weren't being asked last spring. And so I love just watching everyone sort of understand the space a little bit better. So it's just exciting to see how everyone sort of matured even with us. You know what I mean? So
yeah, the space, it's evolving. It's a lot slower than I'm expecting. So the market, is a little bit behind to understand everything of this, but that's our chance as investors to make to beat the market there, because with this community, I think we're building there. There's, as you said, a lot of brain power there, and it's a lot of fun too. Okay, so back to Hut 8. You have 5,000, more than 5,000 Bitcoin now on the balance sheet. First of all, congratulations for this. The HODL strategy pays off. Huge revaluation gains in Q3 and so on. That's amazing, because I was always advocating for this HODL strategy because it makes sense in the bull run. So you have 2,000 still in a yield program. What are you going to do with the other 3,000? Just HODL, or?
You know what? Honestly, building yield and revenue on top of our coin is certainly part of our strategy. So we are looking at a few different options right now. I don't really have any updates for you there, but I can certainly say that we're evaluating putting a couple, some more coin to work, just because it's like having a high interest savings account. Like that's great, right? Look, growing your money without spending your money is something we definitely like. So yeah, we're still evaluating other opportunities right now to put a little bit more coin to work. But that being said, at the end of the day, counterparty risk is everything for us. So we're not going to go and put it into some sort of 7% earning account with a counterparty that we're not comfortable with. So we like the Galaxy and Genesis are very trusted institutional counterparties. So we'll see. We're still in due diligence on that side, but certainly we're looking at, what can we do with this balance.
Okay. I mean, you guys really like to have a big cash on your balance sheet. That's for sure. So I think you will buy some miners with it, but are there also plans? I know you cannot answer this, but I try to ask about M&A stuff and things like this.
Look, we said in our release when we did the raise that M&A was certainly something we'd be looking at. And we do see some really interesting opportunities that, if they come to fruition, I'm very pumped to update you guys about. But certainly, that's certainly on our radar. M&A for sure is on our radar. Absolutely.
Okay, nice. So you recently become an Ethereum miner with the GPUs. So you have the payout 100% now in Bitcoin. It's a pure Bitcoin play right now, Hut 8. What do you think, or what are you expecting for Ethereum for this proof of stake thing? When will it finally happen? I think they delayed it until next year. I expected this, but do you think what are your forecasts there for this?
So look, when we bought these GPU miners last spring, we modeled it. The price we paid, we modeled it as though it was moving to proof of stake within the year. And then the ROI still made a tremendous amount of sense. So we modeled it as though proof of stake was happening. Absolutely. It has now obviously been delayed. I believe it's been delayed now, pushed to May 2022.
Yes, that's what I see.
Look, Ethereum was started in Toronto. Our head offices are in Toronto. We're very close to the developer community here in Canada. We're hearing that it's actually probably going to be even further than May 2022, and not because you have a technological issue, but because it's a governance conundrum, which is very difficult to resolve, especially given how many devs are on that chain, and just the power and the market size of that chain. We're hearing it's going to be pushed out quite a bit further. But look, even if Ethereum went to proof of stake tomorrow, our relationship with Luxor Mining Pool and the strength of these GPU miners, we could easily just pivot to the next most profitable chain and mine that and then get paid out in Bitcoin. So there is still that diversification, which we love. And look, right now we're going all in on mine Ethereum, get paid out in Bitcoin, but maybe there is a case in Q1 2022 where we do look at potentially a part of a hodl of Ethereum. So again, agility and diversity is the name of the game with Hut 8. So yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, the ESG topic is also very big in media. Yeah, I'm not sure how much this affects the valuations of the companies, but what is your, what are you doing right there on the ESG side right now? Are there any changes?
So our head of power and our head of regulatory have been working diligently on a very in-depth plan, which hopefully I'm hoping we can announce in greater detail to you guys within the next couple of weeks. I'm hoping for maybe even possibly next week. But look, we're taking a top-down, but also a bottom-up approach to ESG. So, top down, looking at things like going fully carbon neutral, but also bottom up. So I think I've talked about this before on I believe videos with you, but we've electrified our vehicles on the ground. So going from gas powered to electrified vehicles. We've created a partnership to help with our styrofoam. So when miners come, they come wrapped in a ton of styrofoam. And instead of that styrofoam going directly to landfill, we have a partner now that compresses that styrofoam and then resells it on the market. So even looking at little nuances for how we can consider the environment a shareholder and a stakeholder in our business is something that we look at every single day. And we'll have greater detail for you guys about that in the next week or so. So yeah, that's the ESG side for Hut.
Good. Yeah, a lot of competitors, peers, they're moving into the US. So recently Bitfarms announced that they acquired a site there in Washington State. You're right now focused only on Canada. So are there any plans, or do you think is possible that Hut 8 also will go into the US in the future?
I mean, look, I'm not saying no. We're certainly not saying no. But the thing about here's what we love about Canada. The climate is extraordinary, freezing cold, and windy in the locations that we're in. So we actually, from an efficiency standpoint, we absolutely love it. So for example, our head of tech, we love immersion cooling. It's fantastic. But given how our sites are set up, it actually wouldn't increase efficiency for us. So that's actually a benefit. And also, we have a very close relationship with the regulators here in Canada, and regulation is a very big deal, obviously, in this industry. And so we think we like being in a country where we're able to lobby and ultimately, hopefully, influence regulation in the spirit of innovation and proliferation of this space. So that's why we sort of love Canada and really focused on Canada right now. But look, like I said, we are certainly cashed up and interested in going shopping for the right opportunities, and that could be honestly anywhere. So
okay, so yeah, Tanya Woods, I mean, you have a great person there for regulatory stuff. What is she thinking right now about Canada and regulation in the crypto industry?
Look, I think the priority is certainly, we've seen what's happened with the infrastructure bill in the US. And I think what we're focused on is hardcore education with regulators here, so that you don't see any sort of copycat legislation come down the pipeline in Canada. And we don't really see that yet, but education is a big priority for us. So getting members of parliament in a room and effectively explaining, like, this is how the technology works. Here's the benefit of the technology. Here's maybe how you should look at, regulating these businesses. So education is absolutely the priority for us right now. Also, building greater ties in Europe as well. I was messaging you about, who I should be speaking with in Germany, because you guys have changed the laws there. We're speaking with parties in Liechtenstein and Luxembourg, because again, there's so much opportunity there, even from an investor perspective, and just having thoughtful conversations with regulators in Europe. So we're also focused on building relationships in Europe as well. So.
Okay, yeah, that sounds very important, the educational stuff. You know, I found it yesterday in my company, and it's called Block Forest. You know, from Black Forest, and they were laughing at me. They said it's spelled wrong. You have to spell it Black Forest. I saw no blockchain, Block Forest. You understand? Yeah, they didn't understand. So that shows me we're still very early. But I said you will understand in a few years. You know.
That's amazing. Congratulations on founding your company. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be very exciting. I love this space, and yeah, right now I'm focused on being an investor. So where do you see us in the bull run right now? So you're hodling all your coins. So I think you're still seeing some upside there.
Yeah, absolutely. And with these GPU miners, seeing 95% margins is extraordinary. But look, like I said, 2022 could be likely a wild ride. And so focusing on, you know, the ability to be agile and pivot and diversify this business to protect shareholder value is the #1 priority for us. And I'm so sorry, I do have to go. We're in a conference today, so my first call starts in like about a minute.
Yeah,
but it was so nice to chat with you. And yeah,
thank you, Sue, for being on the show. So that was my last question. And yeah, hopefully we'll chat soon again. Thanks for everything.
Okay.
And have fun at the conference. Bye.
Bye, guys.